It's Dan with Radio Silence and Dan with my own solo stuff. On my own, as it was called. Now it's just kind of Dan Ramirez's solo show. Just wanted to hit on a couple things really quick. Radio Silence band, I've got a lot of questions about Radio Silence still. We're getting ready to get back together next week and start kind of getting back from our 1 year hiatus, so that'll be kind of cool. To do some new stuff, some of the old stuff, and just kind of change things up a little bit. People were asking about my solo show, and some people have seen it and they're like, hey, I thought it was an acoustic, because I do have like pedal boards and stuff and cool and like pedals, and I was like, nope, never said it was an acoustic show. It's very much a solo show. It's dominantly acoustic, but I use different like little effects and stuff, and down the road eventually I'm planning on bringing in other electronical things like mixers and beats and stuff like that, and just to have some different kind of fun with it. I mean, just different stuff. I don't want to just sit there and play the normal Kumbaya on an acoustic and everybody just sings along. So I want to have some fun and do different stuff. On my solo show, I just added a bunch of cool different things, some more kind of like pop punky acoustic stuff, but I also have added like try to break, just doing different things. I'm trying to do like an acoustic version of like a Marilyn Manson song, an acoustic version of I think I have like a Rage song, Korn, Kanye West, Eminem, MGK, just all kinds of different stuff that's like, this is so all over the place, but that's kind of how my brain works. I'm just all over, and a lot of the times the songs don't fit into just one band. So kind of doing all kinds of stuff, and it's going to be a ton of fun, and the changes are coming are going to be fun. And I do have a show this weekend. It's like a benefit at the Moose in Sterling. It's a Moosapalooza. A bunch of other bands are going to be there too. Slick Trigger, The Solution, other bands, other performers. Definitely come check that out. That's this Saturday. It starts at 2. I'm opening up the show because I don't want to be there late. So 2 to 4, I'm jamming. Come check me out. Come hang out. Stick around for the rest of the bands. And then in 2 weeks, October 4th, opening for a band that's coming from the UK called Kelsey Carter and the Heroines. But I'm opening for them, and that'll be kind of cool. Be pretty fun. I'm more excited to be just doing a show over at Madwater because Madwater's cool and Heather's super awesome. I love that place, so that's kind of more exciting for me than the opening for the. Not that I'm dissing the band or anything. I have no idea who they are or nothing, and just thought it'd be kind of a cool show to do and get some exposure and have some people see some more of my solo stuff and some fun stuff. So check it out. I've got a couple like links and stuff where you can see some of my like solo performances. But we're changing it up a little bit. And then, like I said, Radio Silence coming back, changing up some stuff. It's pretty fun. So make sure you check out our Radio Silence social media. My Dan Ramirez on my own Facebook and Instagram. DANismMUSIC is another one, DANismMUSIC. My YouTube channel. I can't remember if it's DANismMUSIC now. It used to be danismdeath, and as a lot of people know that I've used that like musically for like 20 years, and I kind of am moving away from it just because almost dying multiple times in the last 2 years kind of got me to be like, maybe I don't call myself death anymore. So it's DANismMUSIC now. Sorry, I had a little sniffle, but let's have some fun, and hopefully our music in our area just keeps going and keeps going. And I know that there's a lot of people that are out there that definitely go through struggles in music too. I'm one of them. We all have like something. Like I have a lot of social anxiety. A lot of people don't know that about me. A lot of people think like, oh, there's the dude likes to be center of attention, blah blah. I really do have a lot of social anxiety. I don't mean it to be rude. Like if I'm ever at a show and you come and approach me and try to talk to me and I'm dismissive, I'm not dismissive of you. I'm not being an asshole. It's a lot of my anxiety where it's like, I just don't want to, just want to get my stuff, play, get my stuff done, get out of there. It's not that I'm not friendly, it's just, anxiety sucks. And I work on my stuff, obviously, everybody does. But with that in thought, that's kind of like the work I used to do. I used to work in mental health, and my job was to help those going through the things that I've experienced in my life, and I could use my own life stuff to kind of help with those people and move forward and do a lot of that stuff. And it was always a fun, amazing thing, and it really actually kind of got rid of my anxiety, was helping other people and stuff. So eventually I might get back to that. I really loved that type of work. Type of company I was working for, I didn't really agree with a lot of the things they did, but the work with the community and the individuals is by far like one of my most important things that I absolutely love to do. And especially being able to use my own experiences. I've battled with depression, anxiety, self-harm at times. It's weird to kind of openly talk about things and have people not look at you like you're like, oh my God, is he crazy? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we're all crazy, right? But it's very much a thing of, I'm a very open book, and I like to be open about those things, that if my story can help other people, that's what I want to do. I mean, that's always been kind of a goal, is to kind of go through lots of experiences I've had and help other people. And then when I became, that as a career, then a supervisor and manager for that kind of stuff, and ran those programs to help the people in the community, it was like literally like everything that I wanted to do. It's just unfortunate who I was doing it for, just, we butted heads. So it'd be cool if I could eventually do it on my own, but that's so much work. And right now with just all the surgeries and health stuff I have had over this last couple of years, it's just been hell. And that's why Radio Silence has been on a hiatus. I mean, it wasn't really just me saying like I need time off. It was almost the band saying, fuck you, you need to rest and heal. And I'd pop in and be like, hey, what are you guys thinking? And lots of times it'd be Tim like, yeah, we're not doing anything, you need to heal up, like, stop it. So I appreciate having a band that's like that, as opposed to a band that's like, tough shit, we gotta play. So love my bandmates and everything else, and we're going to keep moving forward. It's going to take a little bit of time to kind of, we literally have not played since maybe right before my last surgery that I had this year. That was an emergency surgery, and I think that was like in March or something. Before that, our last show was like November. Then we usually take time off for the winter. Like the winter, I like to take time off because I get like a lot of sinusy crap and just allergies, and I fucking hate the cold. So we take winter off to kind of regroup, decide like what kind of stuff we're going to do next, and kind of move forward with that stuff. So that's sort of where we're at right now. It's the regrouping time. We'd love to kind of come back out and maybe do like a re-debut of us after being gone for a year at a Halloween show this year. But at the same time, if we have to wait until like the beginning of the year, or a normal time where we would usually start playing through the year after like winter break, that's fine too, because we really want to make sure we fine-tune everything and make things sound as good as they were before, then plus bring in a kind of different flavor and a different direction of the band. All same 4 players. I've had people ask me when I've said we're going to I really want to take the band in kind of a different direction with music and kind of more upbeat stuff. And people were like, oh, did you get a new band together? And I was like, no, same 4 guys, man, same 4 guys. So we're going to have a lot of fun. And again, like I like to, with my solo stuff, it's originally when it was called On My Own, Dan Ramirez On My Own, it really was kind of like the idea of like I wanted to take songs I've done in bands throughout the last 20 years and just kind of say like I'm going to do those songs but like on my own. And some of them were like bands like when I was in Sugar Ghost, which was a female singer, Amber, and it was like, oh, I'm going to do this song and I just have to sing it like a dude and do that. So it was pretty cool to kind of like take some of those songs, and also knowing like if I'm ever out playing somewhere and like a singer from one of my other bands previously were there, I could be like, hey, come up and sing this song with me and like you used to, and or I'll do it and say, hey, you watch from out there. So it's just a lot of cool different stuff, and I'm really excited. I think we're gonna I want to start kind of getting back to writing music and then actually recording it. I mean, over years and years and years I've wrote music, or else I write it and record it and then just never show anybody. I don't know why I've always done that. It's always kind of a thing where I think I was picky, where it's like until I have that song to being like when I put it in and hear it and go, oh shit, I don't want anyone else to hear it. But it takes sometimes other people to hear it and add in their stuff and give you ideas. So I think that's what I'm going to start doing here shortly. So you should be hearing some original music from me, maybe even Radio Silence altogether. We don't know yet. We got to get together next week and sort of figure out what we're going to do. Besides that, guys, I'm going to try to keep these like pretty short. I don't want it like the first one that I did was like 44 minutes long, and then I was like, oh, see you next week, and it's been like a month. So I'm not going to say see you next week or tomorrow or anything, because who knows how routine I'm going to do these. Lots of times it's just when I have thoughts or questions kind of coming through. So I want to address a couple of the questions I got just super, super fast. Okay, one of the things is somebody was asking about, before I talked about like my previous job and all that stuff, I talked about a little bit here too, and really that's what it was. It's kind of taking your own experiences you have through your life, help other people sort of get through, show them the hope that there is a, can always be a light at the end of the tunnel, and there's just sometimes different ways to get there. And it was really using kind of like your own life experiences. So, let's say somebody was having very bad anxiety or depression, or, I don't have anything to live for, that kind of thing. And it was sort of like, well, let's kind of talk about that, see where your feelings are coming from. And then I can relate to that because I went through yada, yada, yada. Here's the kinds of things that help me out. Let's see if these things can help you out. If they don't help you, we'll find other ways to do it. Let's talk about it. And, it was, a beautiful job. And then we opened up a drop-in center that could allow anybody to come in that's over 18 just to talk with people. I mean, it's kind of trash now, unfortunately, but it was just like amazing stuff to kind of have for the community. So that's what my job was. It's CRSS, Certified Recovery Support Specialist. You have to get it like through the state and certifications and all these things. So I'm very, very proud of that. One of the other questions I had was, what is it here? Working with others versus your solo project, and what makes things about your band annoying, or what things do you do to annoy your bandmates? Working with other versus solo, I mean, that's a pretty main thing. By yourself, it's you. You got to find that way to fill up that sound, fill up that space. You don't have anybody to cover your mistakes if you fuck up. Like, that's you. You share it with everybody. That's obvious thing. I do sometimes get a little bit more nervous on my own, just because, I've just been doing this now recently sort of on my own instead of like always with bands and stuff. So there are times I definitely get nervous where it's just, whatever, the nerves get to you, but that motivates me and drives me too. So that's great for solo. With the band, I get the nerves differently, where it's almost kind of like, I want to make sure like we kill this song, or hopefully, it's not really even about like who's gonna fuck up or is anyone gonna fuck. It's just like that constant like, okay, this song, hope we got it. This song, and then at the end of the night, it's like, hey, we fucking got it. And it's just, it's always like that. Even though it's been a billion years since I've been playing in bands, I still kind of look like that at a lot of things. I'm always looking for things to kind of tweak, make better, change, fix. My brain's always constantly just doing that. As far as bandmates annoying me, I love my bandmates. I've had bands that have done annoying practices. Like, I won't name any bands, but we were in one band and they decided that it would be fun to just go randomly hang out at children's parks watching children's play like t-ball and baseball. None of their children, none of mine, just random. And I was like, yeah, that's weird. I'm not into that. Then it became hey, let's go play free shows at like the kids' youth places, and which I wouldn't mind, but it was awkward and weird the way they wanted to do it. So I was just like, that's annoying, and I quit. Bye. So I left that. Too many weird, random, stranger kid things involved. That was fucking weird. But not really annoying things in radio silence. Colin farts a lot. That's about it. Sugar Ghost, Amber forgot the lyrics a lot, and Craig yelled at her a lot. Then me and Phil stood there like children just being quiet while they argued. That was cool. But that's because we were a party band. We were all fucked up all the time on Sugar Ghost. And people enjoyed it and loved it. So even when we fucked up, it was just a laugh with everybody, and we moved on. So it was kind of a fun way of fucking up, I guess. Things I do to annoy the bandmates. I do absolutely nothing, because how can you be annoyed with anything? It's just perfection. So we're just going to move on from that question. Influences. Do I have weird influences or odd influences? This is going to be the last question I answer for this, and then we'll end here. So odd influences is pretty cool. I don't know what you consider odd. But what I could say is that musically, like as far as like guitars go, guitarist, I should say, it's not necessarily like odd people, it's people that just do different things. Like, obviously, I've always loved Kirk Hammett 'cause I'm a huge Metallica fan. And then people always go, Dave Mustaine's better. I don't like Dave Mustaine. I don't like Megadeth. I hate Dave Mustaine's voice. I think all their songs are like crap. The solos, amazing. Musically, amazing. But their songs are shit. Like, I could care less about Megadeth or Dave Mustaine. Kirk Hammett, I love the way he plays, and I know everyone's gonna be like, "He just plays so simple." Whatever. I love his tone. I love his style. It's metal. It's rock. There's a little bit of classic. There's a little bit of like Spanish guitar, like very kind of like just it's. He's very, very different. And if you don't just listen to him in Metallica, but you listen to him like playing songs with like Carlos Santana or like his solo album that he released a year or two ago, like it's very, very different type of music, and his guitar playing is just very smooth and clean. If I'm talking about somebody that's an odd influence that you look at and say, how can I come up with and learning how to do some of these weird techniques, Buckethead's my guy. Like, Buckethead is, I can watch him play and hear it, just be like, that's absolutely amazing. Then it's like, let's watch it and see how he is. And it's, I don't know. It's just, my brain goes like, what's happening? Regular influences, Carlos Santana. I grew up, Mexican kid, right? In the house with my pops, and Santana was huge, still is huge. Our German Shepherd's dog's name is Santana because, Santana's gigantic in our family. But I don't really have any like weird guitar influences. I find sometimes like there's certain like players that everybody's like, you gotta look at this, and I watch it and I'm just like, it's just not that they're not amazing, but it's just not like something that I could be into. An example is like amazing bunch of musicians is Rush. Couldn't care less about Rush. Individually, amazing. As a band, amazing. Don't care about Rush. I was very much the same way with guys, there's just a lot of bands that are like that, and people give me shit for it, and it's not that I'm ever saying they're not good, it's just not for me, and it's not my thing. Grateful Dead's another one, like, it was just never my thing. Fish, Dave Matthews Band is loaded with some of the best musicians, but like I can get 2 songs into it before I just want to smash my radio or turn that shit off and listen to anything else. So not because of the musicianship, just because it's not for me. I don't know, it's just not for me. So anyways, influences for singing, I have so many. So like, actually, quite honestly, when I was a young kid, like I'm talking like in the early 80s, like I'm 4, I remember always trying to sing everything that was Michael Jackson, everything that was Paul McCartney and the Beatles, everything that was Stevie Wonder, everything that was Jackson 5, everything that was New Edition, like that type of like pop music, like around that era, and Beatles, I guess, were around that era, but I grew up in a household that was just Beatlemania. So when I was young, like learning how to sing those songs were great because like you started to hear, I remember at a young age being like, I hear 3 people singing, and it's like, what is that? And my dad would explain, those are what harmonies are, and explain to me how the harmonies work. And then, I'm kind of sitting there really at a young age learning about singing. And then I went into like chorus in like grade school, junior high school. Then when I got into high school, I still wanted to take it, but I was kind of a, tough guy. So I took it in the early bird morning, so nobody knew I was in there except for the people in there. So like, I was still doing it for about 2 years in high school and I just didn't have the time to do it. And kind of went back to like, how do I want to sing? What kind of music do I want to sing? And who are some of my influences? And the really weird one is that nobody ever gets. Like, I always ask people, like, who do you think? And they can name a gajillion people and nobody ever nails it. But quite honestly, when I was 13 years old, bought a CD called Frog Stomp by a band called Silverchair. That singer, Daniel John's voice, like we were the same age, same name, and I was like, oh my God, I could be him. But like the way he did his runs and the voice control just on that album, like blew my mind, where it was like, I want to learn how to do those runs. So, just all those things, learn how to go from singing to falsetto back into the singing and then into a little bit of like more. And that just front to back on that album taught me all those things. And I remember just driving around, even when I got older, years later, when I was already playing in bands and playing with people, just like those were my warm-up exercises. Would be like the song Shade by Silverchair, Suicidal Dreams, Tomorrow, those songs were like, Then they came out with another album, and again, vocally just cool. Guitar stuff was very different that they did. It was like almost simplified, but not. If lots of times when you go to drop D tuning, it's people go, oh, you're making it easier. But the way they used it was just not easy. It was very, very cool and very smart. And as the band continued on, their music got a little bit less grunge, post-grunge, or whatever you want to call it, and it became very just like orchestral and so many parts and moving pieces. And Daniel Johns was going from the normal singing to very like really beautiful falsettos and learning how to hold these notes in key for just the longest periods of time, and learning the breathing and all that stuff. Like that all really just came from my love of that band. And so it's weird when people are like, really? Silverchair's where you? And it's just like, yeah, like he, to this day, like he released a solo album 2 years ago that I absolutely loved. He played every instrument on it himself, did all the vocals, except for a couple featured spots. He played the drum. He didn't have drumsticks. It was during COVID, and so he played the drums with like spoons on like just random shit. And it sounds amazing. And vocally, again, like it was like, man, he's doing a whole new thing with his vocals now. So it's like, it kind of was almost like, even I've been singing forever, it was still just kind of like I'm gonna really check out these vocals and like kind of like do those warm-ups again. And now that's what I do now, even for like my solo acoustic stuff. I usually jam about 2 or 3 Silverchair songs. I sometimes jam like a Beatles tune or just something to kind of get my voice loose, I guess. So that's that. But to end this, what I want to end this with is sort of I love playing music. I love playing in bands. I love playing solo music. I'm ready to get back into the workforce again because I've been off so long from these surgeries and just like dying. So now that I'm feeling on the up and up again, it's like, all right, we need to get working again. I love to work back in what I did before, but at the same time, like I'm just kind of open to anything right now. Something maybe even different or outside the box, but I do love helping people. I do love doing that. So when it comes down to it, just be yourself, be happy, help others, man. Let's, this world is no longer we're just competing in every level of everything. Let's let like just us, like here, like just be cool, man. Like leave some comments down below and say just like, give some thumbs up or something. Like let's just be supportive of one another. Our local guys, local bands, local, musicians, like let's all be supportive of one another. We all go through shit at one point or another, and I know when I was going through a lot of this shit over the last year or two, I had a lot of musicians really be supportive of me and say really kind words, and guys in like Knuckle Deep, Eric Mullen, GED, like just a lot of really good friends that have reached out, and I can't even tell you how much I appreciate that, what that means to me. So knowing how much it means to me, I want to make sure I do that for everybody else as well. So there have been musicians I've reached out to and just been like, hey, are things cool? Like, are you alright? I've noticed some stuff, and I don't mean that to be intrusive or anything. I'm genuinely putting my concern out there for you, because if I can do anything to help you guys out or help anybody out, that's the goal, is just kind of help people see that light at the end of the tunnel, even when sometimes it's hard for myself to see it over this like last year or two, where I've been going through so much medical stuff, and it's been financially just stressful, and just having the best wife in the world, being the best support ever, and having some of the best friends in my life and great bandmates, and just great family in general. I'm so appreciative of everything I have, and I want to make sure I can pass that along, give that back to anybody out there who feels like they need it too. So till then, be you, be yourself, be your own God. Just make your own path. Make your own path. You guys can do this. You can just be happy. You can decide what you really want to do, and if you ever need help with anything or support, I'm here. Later.